Welcome to Teaching Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about heart rate variability, what it is, why I think it can be helpful to track, and what it can tell us about our health. Let's get started. There's heart rate tracking and there's heart rate variability tracking. Heart rate variability is measured in milliseconds, and it is the time between beats. Some devices might track this, some might not. I personally wear a Garmin watch that specifically tracks it and is one of my favorite current measures that my watch provides for me. I do have to wear it all of the time so I can get my baseline measure. So I'll wear it 3 to 4 weeks, sleep and awake, so that it can see kind of my normal routine and what my normal heart rate variability is. And I have found this data super fascinating. And so I started looking more into it. So heart rate variability is literally a measure of how well your nervous system is functioning. So that's this like sympathetic fight or flight versus this parasympathetic rest and digest. And where you're at in this range and how well you are tolerating change and how well you can tolerate stress, which is huge when it comes to scheduling our workouts as POTSIs or as, hypermobile people with dysautonomia. So I am actually going to pull up my stats to give you a closer look on like what this chart looks like and what it's telling you and how I use this measure in my day-to-day. So I usually get a notification on my watch where I can look at it, pulled it up on the computer so you can see it a little bit better. This is my daily heart rate variability. So from midnight to midnight, the last day. It does give me a notification. The heart rate status looks good. Your body's handling its current training load quite nicely, which is great. That's what we want to see. It gives me an average for me, and then it gives me my highest average. This was actually the other night when I had my best night of sleep after I spent a lot of intentional time relaxing the day before. And not just resting, laying down. I actually spent a lot of time upright with compression socks on, doing things that I enjoyed, like painting and baking and things that were not work related and not life necessarily related. I have this chart here, so it tells me where I'm at. So right now I'm right in the green. Times when I start to get a little bit less, especially at night, my sleep quality is not as good, then I am going to adjust my workout. So we're going to say here is too low. Too low puts you at a higher risk of different diseases. Find when I'm handling stress not well, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be more stressed, more tired, less energy, potentially more dysautonomia symptoms. I haven't really made it up here. This is probably about the farthest I've been over, other than like the one time I had 5 good minutes of variability. So my goal is to kind of, be in the middle, but shift. I would say if you make it here, you're probably not training hard enough. So most of us that are here watching this video are more than likely in this lower range dealing with chronic pain, chronic illness, dysautonomia symptoms. When we are here, we are looking at how can we put ourselves into a little bit more parasympathetic, a little more rest and digest. And we can do that through breathing, through meditation, through hydration, nutrition, getting sunlight, stress management, all of those things. We are switching to a weekly average. This week I have stayed within the range. It's been a pretty good week so far, and I've spent a lot of intentional time relaxing. Now, the 4-week one is very interesting, follows this little pattern, and what happened down here? This was poor sleep. This is the lowest my heart rate variability has been. Took some time for it to come back up. This night did not, it wasn't just one night. I do believe there's a hormonal aspect to why this was so low as well, but a lot of this had to do with what I ate, what I drank, and how poorly I slept. My heart rate variability in this instance went down to 57 milliseconds. I don't actually know the average range. I would definitely look at the average range for you, not maybe what it's supposed to be. So 61 to 70, 60 to 70 is my baseline, and my baseline kind of changes over time. So right now my baseline is 58 to 72, which is healthy for me. And we can click on my overnight averages. Same kind of thing, pretty solid sleep in here. Doing okay. Dropped a little bit there. Really dropped, really poor sleep quality this night. Again, that's New Year's Eve. And then we're slowly trending back into the right direction. I just Googled what's like normal heart rate variability. This is specifically elite heart rate variability, just from a basic Google search. So everyone's normal is going to be different, honestly. So we're going to say for like a 30-year-old female, 60-ish. And then it can gradually lower as you get older. But again, I would wear a heart rate variability monitor before to make sure you're truly tracking for you specifically. So another piece of data that this watch gives me is my stress. And the way that Garmin measures stress is through heart rate variability. Again, that parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system response. And that's one thing I really like about it is it doesn't only track heart rate. Heart rate can tell us a lot, but I think when you're ready to like start getting down into like these fine-tuning things, right? You've been working on sleep, you've been working on nutrition, you've established a good workout routine. It's probably not great to track if you have not figured out those things, or it will make you more stressed when you get constant alerts that you're stressed. We've got to get the basics down before getting into some of these nitty-gritty measures. Once you've worked on it for a while, I've been going to therapy for years. I've been training consistently, kind of forever, but since COVID, I have established a regular movement routine again. I have been really intentionally working on nutrition and consistent balanced meals and not restricting, and worked with a dietitian. I've been doing all these things for years before tracking this measure. So while there's a lot of good data, please keep that in mind on if you're actually ready for this yet, and don't jump into tracking things too soon, or it can make you overwhelmed and stressed, which makes your stress measurement go up more. It tracks stress. So my heart rate right now is 86. Okay. Between like less than 100 is pretty good. 60 to 80, pretty good, like textbook wise. Seems pretty normal. But honestly, if you were to look at my watch and what my true resting heart rate is, it's 50. So sitting is 82. I'm already having a little response to being upright. My fingers are red. So if I stand, oh, it's back to 66. What is going on? I put my foot up. That's really funny. Cool. So we're down to 59. We're back to 60. I put my foot back down and it's going back up. This is hilarious. But that to say, my resting heart rate truly is 50. And I show up in the doctor's office and, you know, it's 90. It's still less than 100. It's still healthy. Well, truly compared to my norm, it is not. And that's where having this like around the clock tracking can be helpful if tracking is okay for you to do and you don't get too obsessive over it. So my heart rate doesn't always look like I'm working out every single time I'm going through a POTS episode. What it does is tells me that I'm stressed. I don't feel stressed. It feels very different. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I feel shaky. Heart rate's higher than usual. But even if it's like 120 and I'm just standing, it's not necessarily like that's the highest in the world, but it's more than double what my resting truly is. And so the watch catches in on it and says, I am stressed. So this is where heart rate variability tells us. I'm gonna pull up my daily stress levels so you can take a look at it. So this is like for a month. Again, if you look at the track, this is all on a beta blocker, so I'm down here. My stress levels used to be like way up. I wonder if I can go back a couple years. Okay, here's a good one. Just a little bit all over the place. This is when I was not medicated. Okay, average is still staying pretty good. Low stress tells me how much time I'm spent to rest. Medium stress, high stress. Okay, we're still having more days. We're up closer to like that 50, and that's average stress level. We don't want that much stress in a day. 50. Yeah, we're getting all over the place here. Okay, and then you could also look at a daily measurement from the time that I get up. This can also be really helpful data. You can always tell when I wake up, you know, you're gonna have this little peak in cortisol to help you get going. You're gonna run around, get out of bed, have some increase in POT symptoms. You know, we're at like a 75 here, 70 stress. And we kind of go through, do first client, have lunch, and then around this 3 p.m., I always get another spike. And medicine's wearing off. Did a workout, stressed. Did a workout, stressed. Didn't sleep as well. You know, same thing here. We got great at night. We're always going to spike in the morning, 79 out of 100. Medicine starts to kick in. Maybe get a little spike from food. Medicine wears off. End of day. We're running around doing things. That one's a more balanced day overall. I think that was the night I got really good sleep. Okay, so the last measure that heart rate variability gives us on my app is body battery. Based off of your stress, it tells you your intense workout today is good, relax and focus on good sleep. Okay, you have an easy, low stress day. Had a 100% battery that night. That was the night I had crazy good heart rate variability. Here we go. Stressful day. Started with 88, but I used up all the way down to 16. So as somebody who's an overachiever, I feel like I want to get my battery down to 0. Honestly, we never want to do that. You shouldn't ever have to use that much energy. So this is when I was charging my watch. Looks like you had a stressful day. Looks like I did. And so this is where, like, maybe, I guess at this time I did do the treadmill. Maybe this is not the day that I should have done a treadmill run. Days that maybe you did some exercise, it was good, improved your sleep quality, great. Good balance, a good night's sleep, easy day. So it kind of prompts you as far as what workout to do next. And I've been pretty consistent with this for a little while now, I do wonder like maybe what it would have looked like. Let's go back to 21. Okay, you had significant body battery drain. Pacing yourself on days like this is important. Okay, so this is when I was not medicated. I started with 100% battery and went down to 17. That's a very big jump. It doesn't have my old charts, but 67 to 6 battery. Again, we never want our battery to totally drop out. And this is, when I really started dealing with a lot of fatigue, I mean, look at how much energy I was really using each day. 129. Even though I would get good recovery, I would run through it so quickly. Yeah, this is actually crazy. We're gonna go to complete stress management, managing histamine, on medication, going to therapy, eating nutritious, prioritizing sleep. What am I trying to do? And, oh, that's terrible. That's that New Year's again. 38 is all I got. And I got down to 5. Yeah. Look at that. Starting at 98, starting at 72. That was that bad week, and then we're at 100. Okay, so there's a lot of data. So what do we use with this data? When your heart rate variability is too low, we're gonna really focus on that nervous system regulation, get some sunlight, do some deep breathing, focus on a nutritious meal, do gentle strength training exercise that maybe doesn't spike your heart rate as much. When you have proper recovery, then we can add higher intensity exercise. And that's where people go wrong, is they add high intensity exercise because HIIT exercise is what you're supposed to do. And then you get a really bad setback because your battery is totally drained. It's a really cool measure, something I'm learning more about, and really finding that balance and figuring out where I'm at on the sliding scale so that I can adjust my workout intensity according to what my body needs. I also do find a difference whether I wear compression socks or not. My heart rate variability is lower, my heart rate's higher, my energy battery is lower, my stress is higher. So it can be helpful as far as data with that. Again, don't overtrack if you're not ready for it. If you are, I think it's a great measure. Otherwise, focus on some of those basic things. Are you getting nutrition? Are you getting sunlight? Are you managing stress how you can? There's medication options. There's a lot we can do for that. Just thought this would be interesting to share. Let me know what your thoughts are. I will link the watch that I have from my Amazon storefront at the bottom of this video. If you're interested in looking into it, if you're wanting a device that does more tracking, I've been a Garmin user for a decade and I love it. Might be helpful as far as pacing yourself. Again, don't track if it's not healthy for you. If you get obsessive over it and have had an eating disorder, be smart. Let me know what you think about this brain dump on heart rate variability, and I will try to answer your questions. I will see you Thursday for Therapy Thursday.